Hello viewers, we are now in the Ashanti region and in the Manyia Palace, precisely in Ghana. This is where our tour brings us today. We want to showcase the rich culture of Ghana to you, but the heart of the culture in Ghana can first be discovered in the Ashanti land. So today we are at the Manyia Palace to celebrate the Akwasidai with the great king of the Ashanti Kingdom, the Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. But then, before we do that, I have a great man here who is going to give us the history of Ashanti, what is significant about the Ashanti people, and then tell you what to do. Can you please tell us your full name?
My name is Osei Bunsu Safu Kantanka. I'm a teacher by profession, and because of level of teaching, yeah, I've always preferred to be called teacher.
Teacher.
Yes.
So today, can I call you teacher?
Yes, that's
to make
right.
it simple.
Yes.
Okay, so teacher. You know, a lot of the younger generation don't know too much about the history of the Ashanti. When we say Ashantis or Asantefo, what does it mean? What is the uniqueness of the Ashanti? And we are also in Kumasi. How did Kumasi come to be? Can you tell us, give us a bit of a history about the Ashanti people and then Kumasi for that matter?
Okay. The word Asante, it is often pronounced Ashanti, but the people themselves call themselves Asante. Asante because it is a Twi word. It is not an English word. It's been anglicized because of early writers.
Okay.
They chose to write with H, introducing H into the writing, and therefore it sounded Ashanti. Again, it is because the British mentioned the word Asante, the way they understood it and the way they liked it.
Okay.
So it came to be known in international circles as Ashanti.
Okay.
But the appropriate word is Asante.
Okay.
Asante, the etymology of the word Asante is Asante.
Asante.
Good.
Okay.
Esa means war.
Okay.
Nti means because of.
Okay.
So it's because of war. If you combine the two sides of the word, you get because of war. But because of war does not mean that people eat war, drink war, and do everything war. It simply means defense.
Okay.
They organize themselves as a result of defense, so that by union, by unity, they can defend any group of people or any individuals that will come and attack them.
Okay.
So that gives them the name Asante.
Asante.
Good.
Okay.
They organize themselves because of war to repel every war that came against them.
Wow.
So that is the meaning of Asante.
Because of war.
Because of war.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Before then, there were pockets of towns and villages scattered all over. They were not known as Asante. They were in their individual towns, villages, and states.
Okay.
So that they had nation states and they had independent states.
Okay.
Nation states, we mean a whole area dotted with cities, towns, and villages is one nation. Like Adanse is one nation. Wabre is one nation. Achuma, one nation. Asante Acham, one nation. They have such nations. They have about 15 of such nations.
Wow.
And within each nation, they had towns and cities.
Okay.
And the cities were independent cities within the nation.
Wow.
So that if you take, for instance, Sechere.
Sechere.
Good. Sechere has cities within the Sechere states, nation. So we have Drabing as an independent nation on its own. We have Mampong, we have Nsuta, we have other cities that make up the Sechere.
Okay.
So in this case, the Sechere itself is the nation.
Is the nation.
And within the Sechere, we have the individual city-states, which are themselves nation-states.
Nation-states.
Within the nation.
Wow.
And we have as many as 15 of such nations.
15.
So,
My
God. Before they became Asante, these nations were independent.
All right.
But independent and servants of a very powerful nation called Denchira.
Okay.
So all these states were on their own under Denchira, including Kwamai.
So Denchira was then
the most powerful then.
Okay.
And then one of the nation states called Kwamai, which is now called Kumasi, Greater Kumasi.
Kwamai.
This Kwamai was led by Opemso Osetutu. That is, before Opemso Osetutu, Kwamai was not independent. It was under Denchira.
Denchira. Okay.
So Opemso Osetutu came after one of the chiefs of Kwamai.
Okay.
One of the paramount chiefs of Kwamai.
Okay.
So he, Opemso Osetutu, decided to unite all the states, the independent states around Kwamai.
Oh, wow.
So he put them together, and then they had a rivalry state.
Okay.
Or a rival state.
Yeah, because I hear in the past there were a lot of wars, and the ones that are able to conquer others made the others subjects.
So there was Doma, which was very powerful, sharing border with Kwamai.
Okay.
And it appears Kwamai's strength was so overwhelming that that is Doma. Doma's power was very strong.
Okay.
Was very unique. So Kwamai had to fight Doma to be the most dominant power within the Kumasi area.
Okay.
Or what became Kumasi.
Yeah.
So within what is now called Kumasi, there was Kwamai, there was Doma, there were other states.
Okay.
Kwamai defeated Doma. And then
who was the powerful one?
Who was a very powerful one. And then from there, Kwamai decided to unite all the states around it to go and fight for its freedom from Denchira.
Oh, all right.
So when they were able to defeat Denchira, then it means they had become the greatest power within a greater region.
Okay.
That is where the organization is what brought them the name Asante.
Asante.
Good. That is, we are organizing, putting ourselves together to be very powerful so that any war that confronts us could be easily handled.
So when does the Okomfo-Anokye story and the Golden Stool come in here? Because I hear that was where the formation of Ashanti was.
Good. It came in when the chief of Kwaman had died. The chief of Kwaman was called Obriabua.
Okay.
So when Obriabua died, now it had to go to the original owners of Kwamai. And the original owners of Kwamai were the Oyoko people. So they were looking around for an Oyoko to come and take over from Obriabua, who was a corner. They noticed that Osetutu had been sent by earlier chief of Kwamai, Otiakente. that is Twi Akan Twi, came before Obriabwa.
Okay.
So Twi Akan Twi sent Osei Tutu to Denchira to go and serve or represent the Kwamai people. So they thought after the death of Obriabwa, they should get an original royal. And they were just looking around and noticed that one of the very strong-minded people who could lead Kwamai was Osei Tutu, but he was serving at Denchira. So they should go to Denchira and bring him. Unfortunately, he had moved house.
Okay.
He had changed his place to Akwamu. Akwamu.
You mean Akwamu near the Akosombo area?
Yes, but at that time it was not near Akosombo area. At that time it was Aksamankasi.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was their capital.
Okay.
The Akwamu's capital.
Okay.
But they moved to the Akosombo area when they were defeated by the Achim.
Okay.
Abuakwa.
Okay.
Achim Abuakwa defeated Akwamu in 1730.
Okay.
So at the time when Osei Tutu was at Akwamu, that was before 1730.
Okay.
So they went there and brought him to Kumasi.
Okay.
At that time, Kwamai.
Okay.
When he became the chief of Kwamai, it was then he started fighting for his freedom.
Okay.
One from Doma.
Okay.
And then second from Denchira.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So when he had gained independence from Doma, and then he united all the states around Kwamai and made them a greater Kwamai.
Okay.
So he used the greater Kwamai to again organize more powerful nations like Dwabin, Mampong, Kukufu, Bekwai, Nsuta, Ofenso, and all the powerful nations around.
Okay.
To unite and this time go and fight Denchira for their independence.
All right.
So it was a preparation for their freedom that brought them the name Kwamai.
Kwamai.
So before they were, that brought them the name Asante.
Asante.
Good.
Okay.
But before then, they were an independent state called Kwamai.
Kwamai. Okay.
When they had gained their independence from Doma and had gone to Denchira to fight for their bigger freedom, they returned victorious.
Wow.
With all the union of all the big nation states and city states, they decided that, okay, now before we go to Denchira, which of the people or which of the towns are we going to use as our capital?
Oh, wow.
We are Kwamai, a greater Kwamai.
Yes.
And you are Dwabin, you are Mampong, you are Nsuta, you are Kukufu, you are Bekwai. We have all come together.
Yeah.
We need one capital. And then we need one leader we will look up to. So who is going to be a leader? How are we going to choose our leader? This is where Okomfanoche, who came with him from Akwamu. It was when he was coming that he came with Okomfanoche as his best friend.
Yeah.
And he had supernatural powers which guided him in all his doings. So Okomfanoche told Opimso Osei Tutu that no, we have to pray to the Almighty God to give us wisdom as to which of the towns or the cities would become the city or the center or the seat of government for all of us who have come together. We also have to pray to the Almighty God to guide us to know who will lead all these states that have come together. So they prayed, they fasted and prayed.
Fasted and prayed.
Prayed.
Wow.
For 40 days.
Wow.
at the end of the 40 days, he assembled all these nations that had agreed to come together as one group to go and fight for their independence. It is there and then that he conjured or he offered prayer to the Almighty God. At the end of the 40-day prayer and fasting, the Almighty God, according to them, they sent down a stool, gold stool from the heavens.
Really?
And then the decision or the agreement was that anyone whose lap the golden stool will land will be the one who will be the leader.
Okay.
So it was easy choosing their leader because the golden stool came and landed upon the lap of Opimso Osetutu. So they all agreed. So that was the initial agreement. The initial pact was that whoever receives the gold stool coming from the heaven on his lap would be the leader. So they all agreed.
Oh, wow.
Then, to get a capital, they said they had to plant a tree called Kum
tree. Okay.
They planted several of them. But the most important ones were the one planted at Kumawu and the one planted at Kwamai.
Okay.
So there they agreed that the one that survives is the one that is going to determine where our capital would be. So the one in Kwamai thrived and the one in Kumawu died. So the one that died in Kumawu, because of that, the name of Kumawu, it was called Apimso. Bankafo Apimso. It was changed to Kumawu. The Kuma tree had died. Then Kumasi was Kwamai. Then the Kuma tree had survived.
Yeah.
So Kumasi, the tree was there. People gathered underneath the tree. Everything, organization was done under that tree. So that brought about Kumasi.
We are back. We're looking at the second part of the Ashanti rich story. So, teacher, continue with us, and when you finish, you tell us a bit about why the Ashanti people are so significant. But then you were speaking on the Kumasi, and so continue with that first.
So they had got their capital. They had got their union.
Wow.
And the union became Asante. And the capital became Kumasi. All right. So governance began.
Okay.
In which case, all the nations that were closer, that were a threat, had to be subdued.
Okay.
Because they were a threat.
Okay.
Sometimes they talked them into the union.
Okay.
Yeah. Talk them to agree to join the union. And when you prove stubborn, then of course, fighting ensued.
Wow.
And whoever won was the leader, and more often than not, the Asante won.
Wow.
So the nation was broadened, it spread up to the Ivory Coast.
Okay.
So, and then it spread up to the Burkina area.
Wow.
It spread up to Togo.
Really?
Yes. But at different times.
Okay.
Step by step, stage by stage. So, Asante and Osetutu fought within the close range of Asante Achem.
Okay.
So those days, Asante Achem was not part of the union.
Okay.
So when they defeated the most powerful person there, they added Asante Achem to the union.
Wow.
Then on and on, they fought. When Opimso Osetutu passed on, came another powerful king, Opokuari.
Okay.
He also added a greater portion of the Bonon area
Okay.
stretching to Ivory Coast,
Okay.
and then the northern part of Ghana
Okay.
to it. When he passed on, another came called Osekwajo,
Okay.
also added more lands. So
Okay.
it became the norm
Okay.
of the kingdom to add more lands.
More lands. Okay.
But the nature of Ashanti was such that it did not take people for slaves.
Okay. Good.
If you were conquered, your state remained the state,
Okay.
but added to the Ashanti kingdom,
Okay.
meaning it was a federal state,
State. Okay.
with Kumasi as its capital and the union Asante Union.
Okay.
So every nation that was added agreed to live on its own in a federal sense,
Okay.
so that it is not as if Ashanti or Asante, as we say it, took people for slaves.
Okay.
You were independent, you had your own land, you had your own rules and regulations, but the Ashanti law and constitution band all together.
Okay. So where was the original location of the Bremai or the first Kumasi?
That is the post office area where they have the military museum.
Okay.
Okay, so the military museum was originally the spot for the Ashanti Hines Palace.
Wow.
But there are many wars with the British, made them lose that part to the British.
Okay.
So the British took over that place and built their own fort there.
Okay.
That made them change to where we are now, Manyia.
Manyia. Okay.
Okay.
What is the significance of Manyia? What is the meaning of Manyia?
Well, Manyia has two meanings.
Okay.
We have a lot of places called Manyia.
Okay.
That is to say, where the nation meets.
Okay.
So we have as many as about 10 of such Manyia within the Ashanti Kingdom.
Okay.
But this very Manyia has a different meaning. This Manyia, the name of this spot was given by Asante Prempeh the First on his return from Seychelles Island.
Who is my great-grandfather?
Good. Asante Prempeh the First had been moved from his original palace,
Okay.
taken to Seychelles Island, and British had taken over the place.
Okay.
So when he returned, a neighboring, one of the chiefs of Kumasi, Tafo, had to give the spot for the British to build a palace for Asante, whose palace they had destroyed.
And that is what we see here.
Yes.
Is that a building?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. So, hey, viewers, we are currently in Manyia. This is the great place, the seat of the Asante. This is where we are sharing this story today, because we're sharing the Ashanti story so that everybody will know that these are unique people. These are people of bravery. These are conquerors. These are people who can achieve anything they set their mind to. So you can see the palace. There is a museum here. When you come on a tour in Ashanti, you want to come here. At the moment, there is a renovation going on there. So when it's finished, it's first class edifice, so you want to take part in it. So we are just at the concluding part.
All right. So when Asante Prempeh the First settled in this building, he did not even want to settle in that building.
Okay.
Because his building had been destroyed by the British, his palace.
Okay.
And the British had built something small to compensate him. So he felt that, no, I don't want your money. I don't want your compensation. If you had destroyed my palace, that is not the size of my palace.
Okay.
So I'll pay for this one, so that I would have a place to live. He paid for it and moved in, and then congratulated Tafohene for giving him such an area for his palace to be erected.
Wow.
So the congratulation was where I say Menshiawa.
Menshiawa.
That means acknowledgement.
Okay.
Oh,
If I had not met
you. So
Wow.
that is, so this Menshia has a different meaning from all the other Menshia
Menshia.
that you know about.
Wow.
So the other Menshia talks about meeting place or my Nshiamu.
Okay.
But this one is Menshiawa.
Menshiawa. This is a lot of history. Now, what do you want to tell all Ashantis anywhere, both the internal diasporian and outside diasporian, about the rich culture of Ashanti, what is unique about them, and why they should come home, see the development that is going on, and contribute to the greatness of this great kingdom?
More often than not, people want to know what makes Ashanti so unique.
Yes.
Ashanti was the last to succumb to colonial masters' rule. They were the last to be defeated by the colonial masters on the continent of Africa. So they maintained their culture. All the others who were defeated earlier have lost their culture.
Okay.
But Ashanti lost to the British in 1901 and was made part of the British colony in 1902. When others had lost their kingdom or lost their states to the British hundreds of years back and had accepted the British custom or British norms or British culture, Ashanti was the last to be defeated, and the British again left them earlier, so they still have their culture to show to the world. So that is what makes them unique, because they have a culture to show to the world.
Wow.
Whilst others have lost theirs.
Their culture. Hey, you see, no wonder I said that this is the center of rich culture. There is so much we have to learn, but I want to thank Prof today for being with us. Look, stay tuned in to this channel. We'll be bringing you more history.